In your mind, what changed in that second quarter before the half?
I thought, our effort was much better. I thought Lamar came in and gave us a big spark. He has that energy that's infectious. Like his teammates love to play with him, and they follow his lead, with his grit and his toughness that he plays with. So I thought he gave us a huge spark. I thought, again, we were just trying to find it early. And again, Miami's game plan is always going to be solid. They're always going to execute. So it just took us a minute to try to find it. And I thought we did a little bit.
You mentioned Lamar. I want to say the Milwaukee game, you brought him in kind of how nice is it to have a compliment like that when things maybe not going the intensity that you want to have?
Yeah, I mean, it's the makeup of this group, but it's Lamar's makeup, as a person. It's like he works his tail off to stay ready because he wants to be a part of it. And he wants to be a part of the locker room, and he genuinely cares about his teammates and the team. So he does whatever he has to do to help. And if you got a group of guys like that, you'll give yourself a shot because you'll be able to compete and you'll be able to go deep in the rotation. Guys have logged a ton of minutes, so you're going to need some fresh legs at some point in time. So, he was ready tonight and he always will be.
Kevin Love kind of playing a little deeper in the fourth quarter than we've seen in the past. Is that kind of the same reason?
Yeah, I mean, he had it going, and I think we all know what Kevin's capable of. And the 3-point shot is a weapon. When he's making it, when he's on the floor, as long as he's taking it, like he carries that gravity with him. You'll see a ton of times where two guys just run to him, and then it opens up for somebody else, or the combination of him and Ricky in the pick and roll. Those handoffs where he finds space and Ricky's able to find him for three. His intelligence to draw a foul and get to the free throw line. Like, we all know what Kevin is and who he is, and how he benefits this team. And again, his buy-in and commitment is the same.
I was just going to mention, you mentioned all the time the buy-in that him and Ricky have given, but I talked to him in post game. You look at his hands; they're all bloody and cut up and beat up. Just what does that say to his teammates about just the work that he's putting in to give the energy?
Right, he's ready to go. You know what I mean? Like, he's been to the mountaintop. Like a little blood, sweat, tears is nothing to get you there, and that's the truth of the matter. The further you go, the deeper you go, the better your team is, the better shots you're going to take from other people, and you got to be willing to do whatever it takes to get it done. And he's leading us in that way.
Kelsey Rose of the Athletic. When you look at when you guys played Miami to then tonight, what was the biggest difference, especially what they were doing defensively, that you guys saw early on that you had to adjust to?
Well, I think the traps in the pick and roll, trying to get the ball out of our point guard's hands a little bit earlier, make our big guys make more plays. I thought we read it right, and we got the ball to our big guy and we made the right play. But that's always an adjustment. A lot of teams don't play that aggressively in the pick and roll, and our guards can get downhill and make plays. But they did a good job of shutting our guards off and trying to keep them out of the paint.
And even in these games where there's a little bit of a grind or like throughout part of the game and everything, but as you're building this consistency through this part of the season, like how much is even that, just like encouraging that there is in the sense of like that they are grinding it out and fighting through the whole game?
I mean, again, they want to win basketball games. They want to earn the respect of their peers. They want to earn the respect in this league. So, that's the only way you get it. This league is not easy, and to win in the NBA is not easy. So you have to sacrifice physically. You have to sacrifice, off the court. Like, you have to do all those things, and you have to be willing to do whatever it takes. And our guys are continuing to prove that they're willing to do whatever it takes, whether things are going well for them or not. And I think that's the deciding factor in consistency. It's easy when things are going your way to say, oh, I'm going to do this, right? That rah-rah. But like when things aren't going your way, how do you figure it out? And are you still willing to do it? And are you still willing to do it together? And our guys are proving that they are.
And you had 16 threes tonight, but just through this recent stretch, especially finding those shots on the perimeter, and tonight that being honestly like a really good weapon for you guys. Where do you see it as like it's opening up those opportunities and guys just knocking them down?
Well, I mean, teams have to make a decision. when we do our homework, your focus is on what beats you. And our guys obviously do a ton of work in the paint. So teams are going to decide, try to take that paint away. And the way you counter it is by taking and making open shots, and making the right read and getting to the ball to the guy on time and all those things. Because you got to make teams pay if they're going to take that paint away. If not, it's going to limit what we can do offensively.
Joe.
Joe Nogue, Cleveland.com. When you've worked your offense and it's late in the shot clock and the ball swings to Isaac Okoro, how reassuring is it that he's been hot lately, he's making that shot when the ball gets to him in that position?
It's the confidence of the work that he's put in. We spend a ton of time, the past week and a half, concentrating on those spots. So it's that reward that you get for putting in the time and putting in the work. So that's going to happen. The way that we play, the way that teams are going to decide to shift on who they're going to leave open. He's going to be the guy in the corner, and he's got to take that shot with confidence. But he makes it 4 out of 8. I mean, we'll take that. We'll take that all night. But that's what good players should do. You should make open shots, and he's working, and he's knocking them down.
Spencer Davies, basketball.com. As far as Lamar and Isaac are going, so much of the Heat's offense is dribble handoff stuff. What kind of job do you think they did on Duncan and even Max Strus, those guys that are coming around the screens?
Yeah, I think the stat sheet tells it all. I think they did a phenomenal job on those guys. Miami obviously is a very good basketball team. They're well coached, they're organized, they're structured. Kyle Lowry is, an all-star player, for years. But I think when they beat you, it's what Strauss does and what Duncan Robinson does. When they get involved in the game, that's when you have a hard time. I think their wins the past couple of games, they've been getting like over 18 threes, and those guys have been contributing to it. So, to give up those, 1 3 to Duncan Robinson, I think those guys did a phenomenal job of taking those guys out of the game.
And then a little redundant, but as far as the defense making your guys fall it out to the corners and stuff, what does a team actually do to force that to the corner defensively? And have you guys seen that much at all this year?
It's a matter of, picking your poison, I guess. And as coaches, we go into the game and we come up with a game plan of how we think we can stop a team's strength. And it's a mix because, the league is interesting in that during the regular season, it's difficult to make a bunch of different adjustments because you never get good at anything, right? If you're trying to do something different every single night, but teams systematically, like, Miami, they want to take your paint away anyway. So they bring guys into the paint and force you to kick it out. I think if you take a look at it, they give up more threes, but they do a better job of protecting the rim. So it's different teams have different schemes, obviously, and what they value. And Miami is a team who values protecting that paint.
Hey, thanks, BJ. Hey, JB, appreciate it, man. Hey, phrases like buy-in and words like chemistry are just thrown around really casually, and they really seem to apply to your group. What's at the heart of why this is working so well?
It's what your priorities are, and what you value as a team. And, again, those are terms that we don't use loosely, to be honest with you. And I know, you hear me say it a lot this year, but it's something that is it's invaluable to building team. Because if guys aren't committed, you're wasting your time. If guys don't prioritize team, you're wasting your time. If you could have a ton of talent, but don't have that chemistry and that buy-in and commitment to the team, you'll underachieve every time. But if you have guys that, are bought in and are believe in that chemistry, you give yourself an opportunity to overachieve. And that's where our guys are. They're all in, and then you mix in the talent that we have, and we're giving ourselves a chance every night.
Thank you.
Evan.
Evan Demerol, Facebook News. JB, you mentioned it that Miami's a team that really likes to protect the paint, protect the rim. But when you have guys like Darius and guys like Lowry and now guys like Isaac, whose three-point shot is falling, how much does that unlock your offense so you can impose your will in the paint? Because I know that's an offensive approach you like to have in this team, especially with Jarrett and Evan on the roster.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you have to make your counter first, right? Like initially we go into the game and we still go with our game plan of wanting to take the, attack the paint. But then, there's so many bodies in the paint that you have to make the right play. So make an open shot is the counter. And then you have to trust that it's going to continue to work because, there's different teams like who solely believe in how they protect the paint. And, they'll live with you getting late contested threes. If you go through the history of the league, the best defensive teams in the league take away and protect the paint at the highest level. I know we get all caught up and enamored with the three-point shot when it goes in, and that makes people gravitate out and open up space. But teams that win in this league dominate the paint on both ends of the floor. So we've got to be able to make shots to loosen that up, but then we got to find different ways. We got to be better in transition. We got to get stops and throw the ball ahead and attack earlier and those types of things.
And one last one for me. Jetty only played 6 minutes tonight. Was it just more of the flow of the offense and how the game is going? Or is everything okay with him?
Yeah, everything's okay. It was just a decision, that we made to give Lamar an opportunity to play. I thought Lamar, earned the extra minutes, but, nothing changes with Jetty in our eyes. He's a guy that's continued to be a part of our rotation.
Tom, do you have another one? No. Finish up with JC.
Thank you. Hi, Coach. Julio Rivas from Agencia F Spain. Congratulations for the victory. Tonight, Ricky Rubio reached 5,000 assistants in the NBA, and many of those are going to Kevin Love. Can you talk a little bit about the relationship that those two have and how important it is for you guys right now?
Yeah, I mean, and obviously, that relationship goes back a long way. And, their combinations of skills really fit one another. Their ability to play the two-man game together and put defenses in a bind, because you really don't know what to do with those two guys. And what makes them so effective and efficient is they know how to make the defense pay when the defense makes mistakes. And that's the thing about it is like, they've got a symmetry on how they work together. And it's a simple, eye contact or a head nod, and the other one knows where the other one should go, and then they can get to that spot. And what that does for us is, it unlocks opportunities to score and put people in tough situations. Again, with Kevin's ability to make shots, Ricky's ability to make plays and get in the paint. So teams have to game plan and figure out what they want to do with that pairing. It causes switches, which gives us mismatches and all those things that helps the team.